All right, let's take a look at number 2 on the homework. So we are going to solve by factoring. I know that because there are two terms with the x and it has a c value. So I know I need to factor by grouping or use AC method. So I'm going to start off by doing my cross. To do that, to set it up, I multiply a times c, which gives me negative 36. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to be negative 36, and then they need to add to equal b. So I think of things that multiply to be negative 36 and add to be 5, and the two numbers I come up with are positive 9 and negative 4. So I'm going to take these two magic numbers and I'm going to rewrite this quadratic. So I'm going to write 2x squared plus 9x minus 4x minus 18 equals 0. And then from here, I'm going to make two groups. And so in the first group, my GCF, the greatest common factor, is just x. The only thing these two terms have in common is an x. In this one, both numbers are divisible by 2, but I'm actually going to say by negative 2 because both these terms are positive. I want to divide by a negative so that the signs will match. So my first factor is my GCF, x and negative 2. My second factor is what I get when I divide both groups by their GCF. So if I do 2x squared divided by x, I'm left with 2x. And if I do 9x divided by x, I'm left with 9. Now, if I did this correctly, I should get the same thing when I divide my second group. Negative 4x divided by negative 2 is 2x. Negative 18 divided by negative 2 is 9. So I know that I factored this correctly. From here, now that it's in factored form, I can set both factors equal to 0. So I get x minus 2 equals 0 and 2x plus 9 equals 0. And so I'm going to add 2 and I get x equals 2. And I'm going to subtract 9 and divide by 2. Since 9's not divisible by 2, I'm just going to leave it as a fraction, negative 9 halves. So those are my two answers. Let's take a look at number 5. So in order to solve a quadratic, it must equal 0 first. So I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides first to give me 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 equals 0. Once it's in this format, equal to 0, I can set up my cross by multiplying a times c. So 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. And then they have to add to equal b. So they have to add to be negative 3. So the two numbers that are going to work for that are negative 5 and positive 2. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. So I'm going to do 2x squared minus 5x. So 2x squared minus 5x plus 2x, just using my two magic numbers, minus 5 equals 0. From here, I'm going to make my two groups. The GCF of the first group, the only thing both of those have in common is x. And then these two don't have anything in common, so I'm going to divide by 1. So my first binomial is x plus 1. My second binomial, my second factor, is what I get when I divide by the GCF. So 2x squared divided by x is 2x. Negative 5x divided by x is negative 5. And then I check my second group to make sure that works. 2x divided by 1 is 2x. Negative 5 divided by 1 is negative 5. So I know this is the correct factorization. And then lastly, I set both factors equal to 0. So x is negative 1. And if I solve this equation by adding 5 and dividing by 2, I get x is 5 halves. So those are my two answers for that.